Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will discuss company accounting and auditing. You can call it as corporate accounting and auditing. Paper 10 from group 1. Section A is corporate accounting. Go to module 1, accounting for shares and debentures. First, let us discuss about company. What is the meaning of company? Who are members of company, that is shareholders, what are various types of capitals in the company, etc. First we'll see what is company. Company is nothing but voluntary association of persons. These persons come together for carrying on some business. They share profits of the business. Capital of the business is in the form of shares. It is association of persons. Company is association of persons. People come together and they form a company and they come together for doing some business. This business will give them profit. They share these profits. And company में जो capital होता है, that is share capital. So capital of joint stock companies is share capital. Now we'll see few more characteristics of company. Company is artificial legal person. Company is created by law and it is dissolved by law. कंपनी लॉ से बनती है और लॉ से ही डिसॉल्व हो जाती है, बंद हो जाती है by Companies Act 2013. Company can hold, purchase, sale, movable or immovable property in its own name. कंपनी खुद के नाम पे एसेट परचेस कर सकती है, सेल कर सकती है, खुद के नाम पे एसेट रख सकती है, चाहे वो मूवेबल एसेट हो लाइक फर्नीचर, मशीनरी, व्हीकल और immovable asset हो like building. Company can incur debt and pay debt in its own name. बैंक, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन से कंपनी लोन ले सकते हैं खुद के नाम पे. वो लोन वापस भी करेंगे खुद के नाम पे. Companies can open bank account in its own name. Companies can sue and be sued in the same manner as an individual. जैसे कि कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग किसी पे लीगल केस कर सकता है और किसी ह्यूमन बीइंग पे कोई केस कर सकता है लीगल केस. सिमिलर मैनर में कंपनी ऑल्सो कैन मेक लीगल केस ऑन एनी अदर पर्सन और एनी अदर person can make legal case on companies just like an individual. Company can sue and be sued in the same manner as an individual. So that is the reason why it is known as person, because just like person, it can take loan in its own name, it can open bank account, it can sue and be sued in the same manner as individual, it can purchase, sale, have property in its own name. But it is not natural person, so it is artificial person. And why it is legal person? Because it is created by law and it is dissolved by law. Company has a perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means continuous existence. Existence of company does not depend on life of members. Members are shareholders, they are owners. कंपनी का जो एग्जिस्टेंस है वो मेंबर शेयर होल्डर्स के लाइफ पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है. शेयर्स आर फ्रीली ट्रांसफरेबल, दैट इज अ शेयर होल्डर कैन सेल हिज शेयर्स to some other person, so he won't be any more shareholder of the company if he sells entire shareholding. and the person purchasing the shares becomes shareholder, member, owner of the company. Members, that is shareholders, they are owners of the company. They keep changing. Shares are freely transferable. One shareholder can easily sell his shares to another shareholder. But this does not affect company's existence. Company will keep on doing its business irrespective of number of shareholders and how many times the shareholders change. Company is distinct and separate from its members. Company and shareholders, they are totally separate, distinct. So that is the reason why, irrespective of how many times the shareholders change, company will continue to exist. It has perpetual succession. Now we'll see definition of company, how company is defined. As per section 2 subsection 20 of Companies Act 2013, company is company formed and registered under this act or an existing company. Under this act means under Companies Act 2013. The company which is formed and registered under Companies Act 2013 is company और an existing company. इसका मतलब है 2013 से पहले अगर एक कंपनी एग्जिस्टिंग होगी, that also you can call it as company. If it is registered under Companies Act 1956, then you can call it as company as per Companies Act 2013. Characteristics of company. Just now we have seen in the earlier slide, but we'll just once again see this. Characteristics, nothing but features of company. It is voluntary association of persons. It is usually for profit. It is artificial legal person independent of its members. Just now we have seen. Company is totally distinct, separate from its members who are shareholders. It has a perpetual succession, that is continuous existence. Company's shares are freely transferable except in case of private limited company. Private limited company shares are not freely transferable because there is limit on maximum number of shareholders, and that is the reason why shares of private limited company are not freely transferable. Few more characteristics. Company can sue and be sued in its own name. It can own, enjoy, dispose property in its own name. Its members' liability is limited to the extent of face value of shares held by them. So shareholder, member, he is liable to pay only to the face value of shares which shareholder is having. Face value is also known as nominal value. Company is managed by board of directors who are elected by shareholders. That is, there is a divorce between ownership and management. Shareholders are owners, but they do not manage the company. Company is managed by board of directors, and board of directors are elected by shareholders. Types of company. As per Companies Act 2013, company may be formed as company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, unlimited company. Memorandum of Association specifies the liability of shareholders. In case of company limited by shares, liability of shareholder is limited up to the unpaid amount of shares held by them. इसका मतलब है जो शेयर्स की फेस वैल्यू है जो उसने पे नहीं किया है, he is supposed to pay that much amount only, he is liable to pay that much amount only, उतना ही उसे पे करना होगा. In case of company limited by shares. Company limited by guarantee, liability of shareholders is amount guaranteed by shareholders. Shareholders ने जो amount guaranteed की होगी, that is the amount liability of the shareholders. Unlimited company, there is no limit on liability of shareholders. It is unlimited. Next is Types of companies. Companies are of two types, private company and public company. We'll see the distinction between private company and public company. Public company is that company which is listed on stock exchange and उसके जो shares रहते हैं, securities रहते हैं, they are traded publicly. Whereas private company is that company which is not listed on stock exchange and securities are not traded publicly. In case of private company, securities are held privately by its members. Second distinction is disclosure of financial reports. In case of public company, it discloses its financial reports quarterly and annual basis. Whereas there is no such obligation for private company to disclose financial reports to public. Financial reports का मतलब क्या है? प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट एंड बैलेंस शीट जो ऑडिटेड हो, वो डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ता है पब्लिक कंपनी को. डिस्क्लोजर इज व्हाट? टू रिवील, टू शो, दिखाओ, पब्लिश करो. पब्लिक कंपनी को पब्लिश करना पड़ता है उनका प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट एंड बैलेंस शीट, but it is not so for private company. Minimum number of shareholders, minimum number of members of public company are 7 and private company minimum number of members are 2. Maximum number in case of public company there is no limit, but in case of private company maximum number of shareholders are 200. Number of directors in case of public company, at least 3 directors are required in public company, whereas at least 2 directors are required in private company. These are some points of distinction in public company and private company. Few more types of companies. One person company, small company, not for profit company and listed company. One person company has only one person as a member, only one shareholder. Small company जो है वो कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 में बोला है कि जिस कंपनी का पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल 4 करोड़ से कम होगा और जिसका टर्नओवर 40 करोड़ से कम होगा, that company you can call it as a small company. Small company is a company other than public company whose paid up share capital and turnover does not exceed the limit set by Act, that is Companies Act 2013. Not for profit company, उनका aim होता है not to earn profit, aim हो सकता है charity, education, social welfare, etc. If they earn profit, that profit is used for promoting their social objective. Even they do not distribute dividend to members. Listed companies are those companies which are listed on recognized stock exchange. Now, in case of companies, accounting of company is guided by Companies Act 2013. Accounting is guided by company's rules and accounting standards. So, maintenance of books of accounts, preparation of financial statements, form of financial statement, profit and loss account and balance sheet, contents of financial statement, ये सब दिया है Companies Act 2013 में. There are various rules, company rules, like डिक्लेरेशन एंड पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड रूल्स 2014, उसके हिसाब से डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करके पे करना पड़ेगा. कंपनीज CSR रूल्स, कॉरपोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ पे कंपनीज को कितनी अमाउंट स्पेंड करनी है, कौन से एक्टिविटीज़ पे स्पेंड करनी है. सो लाइक दिस, दीज आर फ्यू एग्जाम्पल्स. देर आर various rules in accounting to be followed. Accounting standards. Accounting standards are nothing but rules, principles, guidelines to be followed while accounting. Accounting करने के टाइम में आपको जो रूल्स प्रिंसिपल्स फॉलो करनी है, जो गाइडलाइंस यूज करने हैं, उसे बोलेंगे आप अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स. In India, two set of accounting standards are in force. Accounting standard, which is known as AS, and Indian Accounting Standard, which is known as Ind AS. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, they have Accounting Standard Board, and they formulate this accounting standards. Now, there are certain special class of companies, and for accounting they have to follow Companies Act 2013 and again various acts under which these companies have formed. For example, banking companies should follow Banking Regulation Act as well as Companies Act. Insurance companies should follow Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act as well as Companies Act. Electricity companies should follow Electricity Companies Act as well as Companies Act. Non-banking financial corporations, they should also follow Companies Act as well as RBI Act. Section 2 subsection 13 of Companies Act 2013 specifies books of accounts to be maintained by companies. So all companies, they are supposed to maintain books of account relating to all receipts and payments, all sales and purchases, all assets and liabilities, and cost records as per section 148 if applicable. So इसके लिए जो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करने पड़ेंगे वो होंगे कैश बुक, सब्सिडरी बुक्स, लेजर, जर्नल्स, asset registers, various schedules, etc. Some companies, they are supposed to have cost accounting records. So they have to maintain cost records. If maintenance of cost recording is applicable to companies. Next is statutory books. Statutory books is books which companies are required to keep, maintain as per law, as per statute at its registered office. They are known as statutory books. Books which are compulsorily, mandatorily to be maintained, to be kept at registered office as per law, as per statute, those are statutory books. Register of investments held and their names. कंपनी ने अगर किसी दूसरे कंपनी में पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया हो उसका रजिस्टर मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा. रजिस्टर ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट्स एंड देयर नेम्स. रजिस्टर ऑफ चार्जेस. If company has taken loan from bank and financial institutions on the basis of security of its assets. So कौन से asset पे लोन लिया है? That is asset on the basis of charge of asset. Register of charges maintain करना पड़ेगा. Register of members. Register of shareholders. Like name of shareholder, address, contact number, PAN number, number of shares held by them, amount received, etc. etc. Similar manner, register of debenture holders. Few more statutory books. Register of contracts. Company enters into various contracts, उसका register maintain करना पड़ता है. Register of directors. Who are the directors? Their names, addresses, date of appointment, any other details, their sitting fees, etc. Register of shareholding of directors. If these directors are having shares, उसका रजिस्टर मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा. रजिस्टर ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इन शेयर्स ऑफ अदर कंपनीज. दूसरे कंपनी में शेयर परचेस किया होगा, इस कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट किया होगा इन द शेयर्स ऑफ सम अदर कंपनी. Separate register of that is to be maintained. रजिस्टर ऑफ लोन टू कंपनीज अंडर सेम मैनेजमेंट की दूसरे कंपनी को लोन लिया होगा. That register is to be maintained. Annual returns and minute books. What is annual returns? That we'll see afterwards. In next slide, minutes is nothing but extracts of मीटिंग्स. जो मीटिंग्स रहते हैं बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के, शेयर होल्डर्स के, उस मीटिंग में क्या हो रहा है इसका इन शॉर्ट जो एक्सट्रैक्ट होगा उसे आप बोलोगे मिनट बुक. Annual returns. What is annual returns? That we'll see now. As per section 92 of the Act, every company shall prepare a return known as annual return in the prescribed form which contains information about following particulars. हर एक कंपनी को ये इंफॉर्मेशन रखनी पड़ती है, उसे आप बोलोगे एनुअल रिटर्न. सो इंक्लूडिंग दिस इंफॉर्मेशन, ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन लेके एक रिटर्न करना पड़ेगा. इंफॉर्मेशन इंक्लूड्स व्हाट? रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस ऑफ कंपनी, प्रिंसिपल बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज, पर्टिकुलर्स ऑफ इट्स होल्डिंग सब्सिडरी एसोसिएट कंपनीज. कंपनी का रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस कहाँ पे है, प्रिंसिपल बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज़ कहाँ पे है, कंपनीज के सब्सिडरी कंपनी कौन से है, होल्डिंग कंपनीज कौन से है, एसोसिएट कंपनीज कौन से है, इस सब की लिस्ट. शेयर्स, डिबेंचर्स, अदर सिक्योरिटीज एंड शेयर होल्डिंग पैटर्न. Information about companies, shares, debentures, if any other securities are there. Shareholding pattern, that is how many number of shares of what face value, number of debentures of what face value, types of shares, equity shares, preference shares, etc. Members and debenture holders along with any changes since the close of previous financial year. Members and debenture holders keep changing. Debentures and shares are freely transferable. आप आपके शेयर्स और डिबेंचर्स सेल कर सकते हो. सो लास्ट प्रीवियस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में और अभी कुछ चेंजेस हो गए होंगे आपके मेंबर्स और डिबेंचर होल्डर्स में. सो दैट इज टू बी गिवन, दैट इज टू बी डिस्क्लोज्ड. देन व्हाट कंटेंट्स इन द annual returns? Promoters, directors, key managerial personnel, information about all this, along with any changes since the close of previous financial year. If any of the director, key managerial personnel is changed from previous financial year, that also is to be included in this annual return. Meetings of members, that is shareholders, meetings of board of directors, various committees along with attendance details, ये सब include करना पड़ेगा annual return में. Remuneration of directors and key managerial personnel. Remuneration मतलब उनको कितना पेमेंट आप दे रहे हो, including sitting fees of directors. Penalty, punishment imposed on company, its directors or officers, and details of offences and appeals made against such penalty or punishment. अगर कोई पेनल्टी पनिशमेंट किसी डायरेक्टर पे, किसी ऑफिसर पे और कंपनी पे लगाई होगी तो उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन देनी होगी एनुअल रिटर्न में. और उस पेनल्टी के अगेंस्ट कुछ अपील किया होगा वो भी डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ेगा, उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन भी देनी पड़ेगी एनुअल रिटर्न में. मैटर्स रिलेटिंग टू certification of compliances disclosures as may be prescribed. कुछ certificate of compliance disclosure जो चाहिए, that also is to be included in annual returns. Details in respect of shares held by or on behalf of foreign institutional investors and such other details as may be prescribed. सपोजिंग फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स के पास कुछ कंपनी के शेयर्स होंगे, that is to be disclosed, and such matters as may be prescribed, that is which is prescribed by Companies Act. These annual returns must be signed by director and company secretary. Where there is no company secretary, by a company secretary in practice. Practicing company secretary annual return sign करेगा. In case of one person company and small company, annual return shall be signed by a company secretary, and when there is no company secretary, by director of company. As per section 92 subsection 4, every company shall file with registrar a copy of annual return within 60 days from the date on which AGM is held. Annual general meeting जब होगी उसके बाद 60 डेज के अंदर अंदर कंपनी को एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल करवाना होगा with the registrar of companies. If AGM is not held within 60 days from the date on which AGM should have been held, specifying the reason for not holding AGM with such fees as may be prescribed. अगर एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग हुई ही नहीं है तो जिस डेट पे एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग होनी चाहिए थी उस डेट से 60 दिन के अंदर अंदर आपको फाइल करना होगा एनुअल रिटर्न, एंड उसमें रीज़न देने होंगे why annual general meeting was not held, and if there are any fees, late fees, those fees are to be paid. That's all. Thank you.